Hello, everyone. Today we have come up with a very tricky question. A team member has raised concern during retrospective that the sprint length is too short to complete the task or the work assigned. So, as a Scrum Master, how would you address this concern and facilitate the resolution? So there is a community of practices where SM, RTE, Agile Coach, and PO practice the best practices, and the problem. They discuss the problem that the SM cannot alone handle or cannot take the decision. So in today's role play, we are implementing the same concept. So today, our Saili is our RTE. I'm Neha as a Scrum Master, and Deepika is our PO. So let's start our role play.
Okay. So good morning, team. And in this week, like under the community of practice session, we have selected the your team topic because we have found that the team titans have raised their concern that they want to increase their sprint length. So before we going to the decision or the deeper discussion, just I would like to have like, if you allow me, I would like to have some information about the project. So can I go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what exactly you are thinking that the reason which may have led the team to think that they should increase their sprint length?
Okay, so Sally, like a team has been struggling to complete work within the 2 week sprint time frame. Like they are feeling that this 2 week is very short for them to complete their work. So like from last past 3 sprints, like stories are getting spilled over. So in our last retrospective, team raised this concern, like they want to increase the sprint length.
Okay. Okay, so I will come to that. Before that, Deepika, I have a question for you. So when the feature which the team is currently working on, when it is scheduled for release?
It's on August 10th, Sahili.
Okay, so if we consider the sprint length at this moment, will it be then, will it, will team be able to deliver it by August 10, Neha?
No, based on my knowledge, I don't think like they will be able to complete it by August 10th.
Okay, so Deepika, the release timeline is negotiable?
No, Sal, actually, we are working on establishing the new payment method and stakeholders want to release MVP as soon as possible. So we wanted customer feedback at the early, right? So we cannot delay that. And also like if we are increasing our timeline, it will cost extra. So which we can't afford it. So budget constraints will not allow us to negotiate on these timelines, Sahili.
Okay, so if I understood whatever we just discussed, that if we increase the sprint length, we will miss the release date. Also, there will be challenge in getting the frequent feedback from the client or the stakeholders, since you have not yet released the MVP. So frequent feedback is required, and also there is some budget associated with it. Is my understanding correct?
Yes, absolutely. You're right. So if we do not solve the root cause, then maybe even if we increase the sprint length, then we might not able to meet the uh, goal and all.
Okay. Okay, so we all can see here that see, when we discussing, got few external factors like budget, release timeline. So we can see that sprint length decision do lies on under few external factors as well. So increasing the sprint length might help the team in the short term, but we need to deep dive a bit. We need to see the potential impact on our overall agility and the responsiveness. Okay, because longer sprints means longer feedback cycle, and which could delay our ability to adapt the changes for the MVP which we are delivering to the customer. So and it might increase the cost, and it might increase our quarterly budget as well. And so based on the discussion, what I got is like I might be wrong, just correct me if my understanding is correct or not, that the issue is not with the sprint length. The issue is team is not able to complete their work, right? So
Yes. So I would
what
like to add to your point here, Sally. It is not just they are not able to complete, but I also have observed that due to unexpected interruptions, maybe some dependencies, as you mentioned, that has arisen during the mid of the sprint. So these are also causing delays. So these are my observations. So we should try to identify those and address these issues promptly so that we can minimize the impact on our work.
I agree.
So Neha, yeah, I was just coming to you only. So what could be the possible reason you feel, Neha?
Yeah. So Sally, first of all, like I agree to the points, but I have extracted last 3 sprints data, and I observed that the team is overcommitting the work and also underestimating it. So also our story cycle time is keeping on keep on increasing. For a story which team have pointed as to previously, they are able to complete it within 3 days. Now they are taking almost 8 working days to complete the same user story, which they have estimated it as a 2.
Okay, so thank you. Thank you for sharing both of your observation. And I really appreciate that you both came so prepared with all the data. Whatever I asked you, you gave me with the data, and that helps me to understand the current scenario as well. So first, if I come to Neha, your point, so estimation we all know, right? That mostly depends on the information that uh, they know, like the developers know at the time of making the estimation. So do you feel that there is any gap, the team is not having the enough data during the estimation, which is causing this underestimation or overcommitting the work?
Yes, that is the reason definitely. As Deepika also mentioned, that team is identifying dependency letter phase, which also indicates the same factor that during planning or refinement, we are not having enough information. That's why like team is not able to find out the dependency on time. So I think we need to run our refinement session more effectively.
But I always try to convey the information like as soon as I get from stakeholders, but I am not sure why this is happening.
Yeah, I agree with you, Deepika. I think we need to involve our developers from now on with stakeholder at least for major discussion, so that they can also put their technical or any other challenges they are facing, and also they can have direct communication with the stakeholders that can give the team an opportunity to ask their doubts in advance, and which will help them to identify dependencies in advance itself. So also I will have an estimation workshop with the team again to train them like how effectively we can estimate our work, so that they can understand properly
Sure.
about the estimation as well.
Sure. Thanks for that approach for organizing the workshop. Yeah, I will also try to involve developers in the major discussion with the stakeholders. And when I am trying to write user stories with acceptance criteria, I will involve them so that they are also more aware of the efforts and the complexities of the user stories. And so far, like I will try to involve them going forward.
So Deepika, like for your point, like prioritizing the work in advance, you will try to involve them in the stakeholder discussion and acceptance writing, all those area, right? So that I think that is awesome, I can say, if we can do that. Yeah. So so to summarize what you we just all discussed, that mm, there is some significant gap in understanding the backlog item for the team, which in our initial observation we can see. So before going to the approach to the sprint, like increasing the sprint length, we will try to work on these internal areas first, and we will see it is working or not. Like Neha, you will have a estimation workshop session, and Deepika, you will start involving the team in requirement related discussion and writing the acceptance criteria, so that they can understand the dependencies a bit advanced, and it will help them to at at least to do the estimation a better way, a bit proper way, right? So Neha, I will suggest here that you discuss this with the team, that we had a discussion, like you, me, and Deepika, just inform that the team, and tell that this is the action item we have taken, and if they are okay with it, and after every sprint you sit with the developer and see their feedback. Their feedback is very much important. Take their feedback, gather all the empirical data, and after every sprint we again can all sit together and see if it is working or not. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Sally. I'll take this forward to my team. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, both of you. Yeah, before we wrap up this role play, I would like to take this opportunity to conclude. So, team, whoever is watching this, maybe you will have idea now what sprint length is, who should determine that sprint length, and who can extend or who can change that sprint length. What are the factors that we can consider to determine the sprint length? Sorry, for a minute. Yeah, there were some distractions in the background. So just
No problem.
yeah, sorry for that inconvenience.
No problem.
Yeah. So the external factors, yeah, we during our role play, so we have that discussed like the budget, cost, and all. So along with that, as we discussed, the requirements are also mainly of important priority. So these are the very critical factors I can say. Stability of the requirement and project duration also matters, because when we are picking any project, so amount of risk how you can intake. So this will also include the tolerance of the stakeholders, whether the availability of the feedback, how frequently they are available for the feedback or guiding us. So these are the few factors which are important, along with the technical capacity of the team and ability of the team to decompose the work. So how team is mature with Scrum and how stakeholders are familiar with the Scrum also matters for determining this sprint length. So there are a couple of benefits when you are selecting short sprint cycles, or when you are having a long sprint cycle. There is some pros and cons. I would like to add few of them here. So benefits of having short sprint is, first of all, early feedback. So client will be participating in all our discussions, and during our reviews and all, we'll get early feedback where the changes and all. So this will avoid the last minute surprises, and it will avoid many of the effort. So we will it will not help it is not required to roll back any of our activities, or no need to spend extra time, so that it will affect our cost of the project, and it will be easy for us to monitor our velocity and balance our scope creep if we are having the short sprint, because the time for market is quicker and uncertainty will be lesser, since problems and risks are solved very faster in the short sprint cycle. Whereas in the long sprint, for example, if you consider three week sprint span, or the 1 month, there the complications and the cost will lead to unpredictability and uncertainty, because problems there and the risks will try to be resolved very slowly. So I can conclude saying that use the releasable increment and short enough to ensure that there is more learning cycles for the team, and limit the risk associated with the cost and effort. So in the case of scope creep. Thanks for giving me this time. And Sahili or Neha, you wanted to add anything?
Yeah, so I just want to add, like you have well concluded all the aspect, but I just wanted to just summarize or add one thing, that when we consider a sprint length, it is important to assess first that whether it is truly the solution to the underlying issue, right? Sometimes the root cause lies elsewhere, and increasing the sprint length may not be an appropriate solution, right? Additionally, it is very crucial to take into account the additional budget part, the release timeline, all those areas when you are increasing the sprint length, right? So based on my experience, I have observed instances where teams working with 1 month sprint length tend to accomplish the majority of their work in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so conversely, I have also been in projects where I have seen that 1 month sprint length has worked very effectively. So therefore, it is very essential to thoroughly evaluate the specific circumstances and then decide accordingly whether increasing a sprint length or decreasing a sprint length will actually going to work to help to be a solution to the problem which team is facing. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Sally and Deepika, for the wonderful conclusion. So whoever is watching the video, please hit like button and subscribe our channel. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.